Hello, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Harvest League. In this episode, I'm going to be going over my cluster jewel and some information about it. So first I'm going to show the cluster jewel that I'm talking about. This is Fungal Essence, large cluster jewel, 8 passives, minions deal 10% damage, increased damage, and I had Primordial Bond, Renewal, Rotting Claws, 2 jewel sockets, and this is on Harvest League. So the point about this is, how do you roll this really easily in Harvest League? Well, first I want to tell you guys that they're making changes, and so you shouldn't roll this. Give me a second to show you that. So they announced on the 26th, this is the 29th, that they were going to release Cluster Jewel changes in 3.11.1. So this is the next patch, which is coming up in this next week, which is like, it's already Monday today. So what it says is, we want to make it easier to start socketing cluster jewels into your builds. And then so what it's going to do is give you on large clusters, to improve the situation, we're making a significant change to medium and large clusters. The plan is that any new medium and large clusters will come with an additional enchantment that states that they have 1 and 2 jewel sockets respectively. The 2 jewel socket modifiers will no longer be rollable suffix. As a result, the chance for rolling notables will be slightly increased. This change also means that although having 3 notables is the optimal outcome, having 2 notables will be useful, as you'll be pathing through them to get to the sockets. Because you'll for 7 points you'll get 2 notables and 2 jewel sockets. The third one is just an extra notable, and of course you would want it. And it says existing items won't be affected, and you can change it to a vendor to get the new one with the new jewel socket enchant, with any existing jewel sockets removed. Would have space for an additional modifier. We've implemented this to prevent the technical problems associated with changing sockets on already existing ones. So I'm scared to put mine through it, but basically what this is saying is that we're going to get jewel sockets for free. So what I want to show you is what I figured out in Harvest League. Okay, so we made this jewel cluster, and you may ask, how did you make a jewel cluster, a large jewel cluster, in the patch where they say that they're too hard to make and it's impossible? Okay, so now let me show you something. So first, I'm going to show you PoEDB. We're going to get this page open. So I'm not going to craft it right now because it's kind of a waste, since it's going to come up. They're going to patch it. Like, it's going to actually make my method even better. Okay, so let me put it like this. This is the large cluster minion damage, and these are the notables, and these are the extra things you can roll. So what most people don't know is that the large clusters in 3.11 got these extra mod, these are called types or whatever, and so you can actually roll renewal with life. So we may not have minion on the harvest crafting, right? But we do have these. So we have every single one of these in harvest crafting. So if you notice here, life times 3. So what I realized is that you can chaos spam with life spamming in life seeds from harvest can be used to get these 3 modifiers. If you look, 2 of them are what we want: Primordial Bond, Renewal. Oh my god! And then the weighting's pretty good, and then you have your extra chance for your jewel sockets. You roll your 2 jewel sockets. That's 1500 weighting apparently. And so then I figured out, so imagine you have this jewel and it's 2 jewel sockets. This is a suffix, okay? You have your Primordial Bond. It's also a suffix, by the way. Primordial Bond cannot be gotten with Vicious Bite. They're both suffixes and they both compete with each other. You can't get both of these, if you were wondering. Anyways, Primordial Bond, suffix. With your jewel socket suffix, you have 2 suffixes. Add your renewal with the life prefix. So you have renewal, Primordial Bond, 2 jewel sockets. You have an open prefix only. So let's say you want Rotting Claws. It's a physical attack. So what I figured out is where is physical in here? Skeletal Atrophy and Rotting Claws. So if you ogged, which is slamming a physical mod, if you ogged a physical mod using harvest crafting, then it would be 500 weighting towards Rotting Claws, 188 weighting towards physical. But what I figured out is if you look at attack instead, it is competing with Call to Slaughter only, and Call to Slaughter is a suffix. And so you can't get Call to Slaughter, you can only get Rotting Claws. And so a viewer sold me Aug attack, so the slam for attack using Harvest Crafting, and I got Rotting Claws guaranteed. And that's how I made my jewel. And so it was a bit of life crafting, getting Primordial Bond, Renewal, and the 2 jewel sockets. And then I slammed Rotting Claws. So the jewel was the base jewel, and the cost of the Aug with the cost of the seeds for the life. Yeah, so now I want to show you something crazy, some other crazy stuff that you may not have thought about. So I figured out that item level 75 is OP for this cluster jewel. Now they're really expensive. They're like 20x. But the 75 cluster jewel allows you to get 2 jewel sockets, right? It also is the perfect level for Quarry, because Quarry gives you 65 seeds, and the way Harvest works is you can use seeds for 10 levels higher than the seed you're doing, and so 65 can do 75, so I can use the Harvest seeds from Quarry that I can buy from trade in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds for like 25 to 33C for 100, and just print cluster jewels if I wasn't a streamer and didn't tell everyone that you could do this on stream. And then they went up in price to 20x and shit from 3. I bought my original jewels. Let me show you this. My original jewels in my builder, item level 75, I got them for 3x. 3x. They were 3x in the game. And so it's pretty crazy that you can roll these, and I figure after the change, so after this cluster jewel change, I'm going to re-roll this one, and it's going to be easier to roll with Harvest Crafting after than before. And so I've already done this one as well, which was just life rolling, and I got 2 life mods, Feasting Fiend's Renewal with 2 jewel sockets. I already have my 1 Rotting Claws. It doesn't matter until I get 3 Rotting Claws, so I figured, I don't need the second one. We can skip one for now. Technically, Primordial Bond instead of Feasting Fiends would have been better, and just skip the Rotting Claws for now. But this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. So now I want to go back to this to show, yeah, so item level 75 is what I would have recommended to do the crafting through Quarry. Now what I would recommend is, now that they buffed low tier, mid tier, and just mapping in general seeds, you get so many seeds now from mapping. So while you're mapping and you're collecting seeds, and you get your life seeds and you get your attack seeds, look for these. Look for life. Start spamming life maybe. You can use them on higher item level cluster jewels then, so you don't need the Quarry seeds as much. But when I was doing like 2,000 life to try to get an augment life. I was looking for augment life, I couldn't get it, so instead I started rolling life, and it worked really quickly. So you will probably have a good thing with that. Now I want to show you a side thing. So also I want to mention that I pay, let's say, 25C for 100 life seeds, right? Now think about this. That's 0.25 chaos per craft. Okay, now let me show you something. In-game, if you were trying to do this in the past with fossils, for example, you would see pristines at 4 or 5C. Right now they're 3, 4C, something like that. It's pretty crazy to think that Harvest Crafting is giving us free targeted chaos crafting, which would have costed us this. And the reason it's so cheap is because they're Quarry seeds, and everyone can run Quarry for free, and this league mechanic's broken on Quarry, and so when you craft item level 75 jewels, it breaks the game. And I didn't release this because I didn't think it was like, I already released on stream and I didn't think there was anything else to say, but honestly it's pretty cool. Wanted to put this out there that you could target craft cluster jewels really easily, and it actually raised the price of the base to 20x now. That specific item level 75, the ones that I have in my build are really expensive now, and it's pretty crazy, all because of Quarry, Harvest, and how broken Harvest Crafting really is, and how then, because you have the lower item level cluster jewel, you can also just use other people's seeds too. Maybe you don't farm Quarry, but you can buy other people's seeds and they're cheaper. That's the other it's just so crazy, and that's why item level is so important in the game, especially now. Like, I was thinking about the helmet, and so obviously you can't craft the helmet for the minion mods with Harvest. We're big losers on that, and we have to use bound fossils like crazy this league, and it's kind of annoying. But But to actually harvest craft on this, then you have to use higher item levels. You have to use like a 76 or something. I can't use Quarry on 86. It's pretty cool. It's cool. So yeah, if you wanted to have some takeaway from this, if you wanted to try to do this, I would say wait, because it'll literally just be easier after the patch. But because I know viewers, if you were interested, the way it is let me actually just show in-game seeds. You can go to, let's say, your tier 1s, because that's where it is. You could hover over and you'll find Weta. Okay, Weta is the one you're looking for. And so you could just get a stack of these. You could search trade even. I'll show you how to do that after too. Reveals a random life modifier when crafting. And yeah, you'll get chaos, you'll get annuls, you get annul and add. Get them all. Use them all. Just have fun. I think the problem you're gonna find is that the base is 20x, and so you can't do this anymore because my viewers are so loyal and they watch my stuff, and they already destroyed the market. But you can still do it for the higher level ones, and this is still going to be relevant after the patch too. So yeah, I think this is pretty cool. I think that because the other one, the ones that are not item level 75 specifically, are like 2 or 3x. They're pretty cheap because no one's doing cluster jewels because everyone's waiting for the patch. So maybe people could already plan for the patch and buy them and then know how to craft them as well, which is way more information than they came into this video with, which is what I wanted. Next thing, let's show how to buy this. I'm going to pull up the trade and I'll show the trade. Okay. Let's search. So you search Weta, and then what you'll see is you'll find all these people. And so what I do is you see how much they have in the stack, and you also see the item level. And so I would scroll through for a bit, and I'm trying to look for 65 and 100, and then I would message this guy and say, yo, how many you got, bro? I'll buy them all, and buy them at like 25 to 33c per. I don't know how much they are now. That was a few days ago, but this is buying the Weta seeds, and then the attack one is I had it before. Give me a second. The attack one for the Rotting Claws, if you were trying to farm augment attack yourself, it is... Oh, it's a yellow as well. It's Arachnid, I believe, right? They're both yellows. That's the funniest part about this. Okay. Then the yellow is also... Yeah, yellow Arachnid. Here we go. This one's for the attack modifier. So this is how you get the augment attack. And so you just use the life because they're so cheap to roll your thing, but maybe you would have to get a higher item level or farm them yourself from mapping, and you can just look for these, which is nice now that you know this is just useful when you find them. It's actually Pog. Feels good, man. There's one more thing, side note. So viewers will ask, Ethan, I want to roll Renewal, Rotting Claws, Vicious Bite. How do I do it? So if you get Renewal and 2 jewel sockets on your large cluster, and then you can augment Vicious Bite critical, and it will guarantee it. It's the only critical on the entire jewel, and so it will only get Vicious Bite. And then when you have your suffix filled out with your jewel sockets, you can slam the Rotting Claws, guaranteed, with attack. So there's actually a chance that after the patch this won't work because you're gonna lose the extra suffix, and the extra suffix was actually helping us to guarantee the call to miss the call to slaughter. It's actually kind of funny that the 2 jewel sockets wasn't that bad. So that's why this is like super weird. But yeah, so the crit one, because the crit one's weird. Do I have one? I do not. It's a blue tier 2, so that's why that one's much harder. And so I think a Vicious Bite, Rotting Claws, Renewal, 2 jewel sockets is still going to be really expensive. Unless, so my side note is because they're tier 2s and this is really hard to roll, what if you just roll your jewel socket after the patch without the jewel sockets, and then you roll this with critical, like chaos spamming critical, so you don't need the augment critical. And then you save the augment critical to sell to somebody to craft elusive or the explodey chests, because that's where you should really put it in, because those are expensive and our cluster jewel is not going to be too bad. I don't think the Vicious Bite's going to be bad because you're competing with all minion builds. Golem builds only build Primordial Bond, We're specifically golems. That's why our jewels can be better, cheaper, easier to roll, 3 times as likely as a Vicious Bite. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think we'll avoid Vicious Bite for a while. This is like ESCI. It's just too expensive. It's not worth it. It's just not. This is still a lot of stats. These are a lot of stats. They're different stats. If you only care about damage in the late game, yeah, Vicious Bite. But for now, Primordial Bomb, PogChamp. Our build is sick. So this was the whole video. I think this gives other people a lot more information than they knew, and now they know about the new jewel socket thing. I needed to put this up probably like 3 days ago. I just didn't realize how big of a deal it was going to be, because a lot of people came to me asking me, and yeah, or a lot of people just don't know, and I should have put this out sooner. I'm sorry, guys. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the support. Can't do this without you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, and thank you to anyone new who joins, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys in the stream. Bye!